Welcome, history fans, to a tale of two titans. In one corner we have the Roman Empire, a military powerhouse that dominated the Mediterranean. And in the other corner we find the mighty Persian Empire, stretching from the sands of Egypt to the borders of India. These were two of the greatest empires the world had ever seen. For centuries, their paths intersected, leading to clashes that would shake the ancient world. The Romans, known for their legions and disciplined soldiers, were masters of conquest. Their empire grew vast, encompassing much of Europe, North Africa, and the Middle East. But their expansion eastward brought them face to face with a formidable foe, the Persians. The Persians, heirs to a rich legacy of warfare and empire building, were no strangers to conflict. These empires weren't just geographically close, they were economic rivals too. Both controlled lucrative trade routes. The Silk Road, bringing riches from the east, was a point of contention. Control over this trade meant wealth and power, something both empires craved. This clash of interests, combined with the ambitions of powerful rulers, would set the stage for centuries of conflict. Our story begins in 53 BC with a resounding crash. The Battle of Carrhae, a clash etched in Roman memory, marked a turning point in this epic rivalry. Marcus Licinius Crassus, a wealthy Roman general, marched east with dreams of conquering Persia. He envisioned adding the Persian lands to the Roman Republic and winning glory for himself. Crassus, however, underestimated his opponent. The Parthian Empire, the dominant Persian force at the time, was led by the brilliant Surena. Surena was a master of cavalry tactics. He unleashed his mounted archers upon the Roman legions, who were ill-prepared for the Parthians' swift, deadly attacks. Imagine the scene: thousands of arrows darkening the sky. Roman soldiers, their formations broken, fell by the thousands. The Roman legions, used to open battlefields, were helpless against this mobile enemy. They were slaughtered. Crassus himself perished in the defeat, a crushing blow to Roman pride. The Battle of Carrhae sent shockwaves through the Roman world. It was a stark reminder that Rome was not invincible. The defeat would cast a long shadow over Roman-Persian relations, fueling a desire for revenge in the hearts of many Romans. Fast forward 2.5 centuries. The Parthian Empire, weakened by internal strife, faced a new threat, the Sassanids. This dynamic Persian dynasty, emerging from the heart of Persia, would reshape the balance of power in the region. In 224 AD, Ardashirtfat, a powerful Sassanid ruler, overthrew the Parthians. He established a new Persian empire, one eager to reclaim the glory of its Achaemenid ancestors. The Sassanids were fierce warriors. They were also shrewd rulers. They revitalized the Persian Empire, strengthening its army, its administration, and its cultural identity. They saw the Romans as their main rivals, a threat to their ambitions in the West. Under the Sassanids, Persian military might reach new heights. They developed a powerful heavy cavalry force, the Clibanarii, encased in armor. These armored knights would become a symbol of Sassanid power. They were instrumental in their clashes with the Romans. The Sassanids were not content with simply defending their borders. They launched ambitious campaigns westward, challenging Roman control of Armenia and Mesopotamia. A new chapter in the Roman-Persian rivalry had begun, one marked by even greater intensity and bloodshed. The reign of Shapur I, the second Sassanid king, saw the conflict between Rome and Persia reach boiling point. Shapur, a brilliant military leader and a ruthless strategist, aimed to deal a decisive blow to the Romans. In 256 AD, he launched a massive invasion of Roman territory, targeting the strategically vital city of Edessa. The Battle of Edessa was a disaster for the Romans. Shapur's forces outmaneuvered and overwhelmed the Roman legions. The Roman Emperor Valerian, leading his army in person, was captured by the Persians. It was a humiliating defeat, one that sent shockwaves through the Roman world. Imagine the scene: Valerian, the most powerful man in the Roman world, kneeling before his Persian captor. It was a symbolic victory for Shapur, proof of his might and the humiliation of Rome. Shapur, however, didn't stop there. He continued his campaigns, sacking the Roman cities of Antioch and Caesarea, further cementing his reputation as a scourge of the Romans. The capture of Valerian was a watershed moment in the Roman-Persian wars. It showed the vulnerability of the Roman Empire and the resurgence of Persian power under the Sassanids. The legend of Shapur, the conqueror of emperors, would live on in Persian history. The capture of Valerian did not mean the end of Roman resistance, far from it. The Roman Empire, despite facing internal crises and external threats, was a resilient foe. The following centuries saw a seesaw struggle for supremacy between the Romans and Persians. Emperors like Diocletian and Galerius led successful campaigns against the Persians, restoring Roman prestige and regaining lost territories. The Romans, however, could never fully break the Sassanid Empire. The Persians, equally determined, fought back with ferocity. The rivalry between these two empires was about more than just land. It was about control of vital trade routes like the Silk Road. It was about projecting power and influence. Both sides poured resources into their armies, developing new tactics and technologies to gain an edge. Think of the constant tension along the border. Imagine the fortified cities, the legions marching, the Persian cavalry thundering across the plains. This was a clash of civilizations, a struggle for dominance that shaped the fate of the ancient world. The Romans may have recovered from the capture of Valerian, but the memory of that humiliation lingered. And in 359 AD, history repeated itself in a stunning turn of events. The Sassanid king, Shapur II, a ruler every bit as ambitious as his namesake, captured another Roman emperor. This time, the unfortunate emperor was Julian the Apostate. Julian, a skilled general and a philosopher emperor, had led a bold campaign deep into Persian territory. He aimed to deliver a decisive blow to the Sassanids and solidify Roman power in the east. Julian's campaign, however, ended in disaster at the Battle of Samara in 363 AD. The Roman army, weakened by logistical problems and harassed by Persian attacks, was defeated. Julian himself was killed in the battle, struck down by a spear while leading his troops. The death of Julian, a popular and capable emperor, sent shockwaves through the Roman world. Once again, a Roman emperor lay dead on a distant battlefield, a victim of Persian military prowess. The defeat marked a low point for the Romans in their long conflict with the Persians. Julian's death did not end the war, but it did force the Romans to negotiate. His successor Jovian, desperate to return the army safely to Roman territory, agreed to a humiliating peace treaty. The Romans ceded control of significant territories to the Persians. They also promised to cease their interference in Armenian affairs. This treaty, a bitter pill for the Romans to swallow, marked a turning point in the balance of power. It showed the waning strength of the Roman Empire and the growing might of the Sassanids. The Persians, under Shapur II, had reached the peak of their power. Despite the treaty, the Roman-Persian conflict continued to simmer. There were further clashes and skirmishes, but the Romans were increasingly on the defensive. The once mighty Roman Empire, beset by internal problems and barbarian invasions, no longer had the strength to dictate terms in the East. The final decades of the 4th century AD saw the Roman Empire further divided. The Western Roman Empire, weakened by internal strife and barbarian invasions, crumbled in 476 AD. The Eastern Roman Empire, centered on Constantinople, would continue to exist for centuries, but it would never regain the full glory of its past. The centuries-long conflict between Rome and Persia had a profound impact on both empires. It drained them of resources, manpower, and ultimately contributed to their decline. The constant warfare weakened the Roman Empire, making it more susceptible to internal strife and external threats. For the Persians, the wars were a double-edged sword. While they achieved significant victories, the constant conflict took its toll. The Sassanid Empire, weakened by overextension and internal conflicts, was eventually conquered by the Islamic Rashidun Caliphate in the 7th century AD. The wars were more than just destruction and bloodshed, however. They also led to cultural exchange and technological innovation. Roman military technology influenced the Persians and vice versa. The two empires traded goods and ideas, even as they fought for supremacy. The legacy of these wars can still be felt today. The ruins of Roman forts and Persian cities stand as a testament to the scale and intensity of the conflict. The stories of these clashes, passed down through generations, continue to capture the imagination. The Roman-Persian wars might seem like ancient history, but their echoes resonate even today. These wars weren't just about military conquests, they were about the clash of two distinct civilizations, each with its own unique culture, religion, and worldview. The Romans, with their emphasis on law, order, and military might, left their mark on the architectural landscape of the Middle East. Conversely, Persian art, philosophy, and even religious ideas found their way into the Roman world. Think of the intricate mosaics and silks that adorned Roman villas, many inspired by Persian designs. These wars were brutal, but they also fostered a grudging respect between these ancient superpowers. Roman and Persian leaders often engaged in diplomacy, even during times of war. Prisoners of war, once considered trophies, were sometimes ransomed back, leading to cultural exchanges and even friendships. The stories of these wars also found their way into the literature and mythology of both empires. Roman historians like Tacitus and Ammianus Marcellinus chronicled the conflicts, while Persian epic poems celebrated the victories of their kings. So, the next time you hear about the Roman or Persian empires, remember that their stories are intertwined. Their centuries-long struggle shaped the ancient world, leaving behind a legacy of conflict, cultural exchange, and enduring fascination.